Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1556. Today we are going to America's Mortgage Mentor. Mortgage Monday will be on Sunday today, and we will bring it to Monday next week because it is a business type of book, and we shall deal with successes during the week. I like to start my week on Sunday afternoons at 5 or 6 p.m. However, my show is at 5 a.m. We're going through a lot of changes. We're going to be switching from 5:10 a.m. Pacific time to 6 o'clock a.m. next Tuesday, the 15th. We are going to read Mortgage Monday, Sunday. Launch How to Take Your Business to New Heights by Jen Duplessis. I think her last name should be pronounced Jen Duplessis, something like that. If it's French, I'm not sure, but it could be. And we're reading on page 21 today. I am gonna put this up over here. I have a lot of things. And then Sundays, we will go to the story by Henning Morales, the dirt, uh, the dirt merchants. As you can see, this will be next Sunday. This will be next Sunday, and this will be this will be. Well, let's not confuse you. This will be next Monday, not tomorrow, but Monday the 14th. Okay. That's what I want to do. And I hope nobody's too confused. That's why I put it in the caption here. Um, which way does it go? I guess it goes this way if I do this because I'm in a mirror image right now. So it's here. Uh, Mortgage Monday will be today on Sunday. Now that I've confused you, let's go to page 21. Now, know what you want to accomplish with every call and meeting. This is what Jean Duplessis says. Jen Duplessis, Lady Jen. She says, something a colleague recently shared with me is a reminder that we don't want to work with 100 pennies or even 20 nickels. Perhaps our focus should be on working with 10 great dimes and 4 unbelievable quarters. Knowing what you want to accomplish begins with knowing who you want to accomplish your goals with. It also doesn't mean just keeping an overhead view and tallying your balance sheet at the end of every month. It's quite a unique combination of thoughtful planning while remaining a visionary. Working your plan is a week by week, day by day, hour by hour endeavor. Start with some segmenting your time every day, also known as time blocking. Now, hang on. Don't close this book. Stay with me. Time blocking can provide focus on the activities you want and need to accomplish during each time compressed segment. I'll discuss the enormous value of time blocking and time compression in the next section. In fact, there are several chapters in the next section, all devoted to how you can wring maximum efficiency out of your time. The key is to not do things piecemeal, but to devote strict blocks of time to accomplishing defined tasks or like activities. We do some of that naturally in our daily lives. For instance, when you return from the grocery store and put things away, you don't do it by taking one item out of the car, walking it into the house, putting it away, and then going back for another item. No, you bring in all the bags at once. You probably group things as you take items out of the bags, and then you store away all those similar items in the same location. That's the kind of efficiency you want to develop in your business activities. Now, this was a business book which I started on Sunday, and I mean to do stories on Saturday and Sunday. Story Saturday, story Sunday. So that's how come we're switching over to Monday of next week. So the next time you see Jen du Plessis will be in 8 days. Back to the author, Lady Jen. As I mentioned in the previous chapter, you have to know exactly what numbers you need. 4 bullet points. How many referrals do you need? Next bullet point. What are the sources of your loans going to be every single month? Where will your leads come from? Will 50% come from real estate agents? Will 28% come from financial planners? You need to know. Next bullet point. What are your capture and conversion rates? You may not have any idea what your rates are if you've never tracked these things. Just pick a number out of the blue in that case, and then track your experience to figure out what your capture and conversion rates are. 4th bullet point. How many loans do you need to close every single month? When you know your numbers, your activities can be laser focused. Without focus, you'll encounter difficulty reaching your goals. For example, every phone call that you make should not be one on one, one and done. It should be one and. It should be a, just start over. For example, every phone call you make should not be one and done. It should be a one and one. Know exactly who you want to talk to and then ask for a referral or a new connection on every phone call. Utilize some scripting if you need to. Do you did you do that? Great. Now you have another phone call to make. You can reach out to that person and schedule a one-to-one meeting for 2 to 3 weeks out. If you get into the cycle of making appointments 2 to 3 weeks in advance, you're going to find very, very quickly that you're going to be booked with activities you love and that you are good at. More importantly, this gets results. The key is to have a purpose for every meeting. You're following up because you have a system for following up, and you're scheduling the next meeting with that person right then and there while you're meeting with them. Don't wait to do it later, or else you'll lose confidence to make that phone call, to reach out, to each other and schedule something. Just get it scheduled now while you're meeting them. This is a little bit like dates. We want our dates to be that way too, where a man who is interested in a woman will want to schedule his next meeting with her before the date is actually over. So you know when they're interested that way. Anyway, back to Lady Jen. Keep working your plan daily, and you're going to find that you're busier than a bee. You won't have time to sift through Facebook every day. You won't have time to talk to clients who aren't going to be able to finance right now. You won't have time to talk to people who aren't going to refer business to you, and you may not even have time to go to broker opens. Is that something you do now and don't find beneficial? And then you go to a big question. What's your plan? If you don't currently have a plan or have never really thought about having a plan, today is the day to start putting one together, even if it's Sunday in my case. Why wait until tomorrow? We shall do tomorrow, Mondays next week, or the next day or next week. Let's build momentum today and keep that momentum rolling. Like they say, you can make excuses or you can make progress. Your choice. Wow. Jen's Jots. Craft a business action plan that is your personal guide to increasing leads and referrals. That's a bullet point. Identify what you need to do every day to bring in new business and then get it scheduled. Everything you do should support your plan. Be sure your plan is focused on increasing your leads, referrals, strategic relationships, and production numbers. The next section is titled Be Clear and Fearless. This is Chapter 2, Section 3. Be clear and fearless. The big idea is to bring clarity to your efforts by focusing like a laser on the highest and best use of your time. That's a real estate statement, if ever. I've always said this: highest and best use of your time, highest and best use of the property, highest and best use of the land. Okay. Bring clarity to your efforts by focusing like a laser on the highest and best use of your time, the things you have to do to bring in new business and grow your practice. Anonymous quote: Success does not come easily. Are you willing to pay the price? Ooh. Yeah. Do you do you confuse activity with results? Better than simply working longer hours, you should always be focused on making the highest and best use of your time to expand your practice. Sad to say, most loan officers don't consciously focus their time on the actions that will move them forward. What drives you? Don't let day-to-day fears and anxieties override the focus and intensity you need to succeed. Soft light versus laser focus. Imagine how it feels to be sitting back, comfortably reading in soft light. Kind of comfy and cozy, right? But that's not the feeling you want to power your plan. As Brian Buffini reminds us, you must focus like a laser on your most important activities. Don't spread out and dilute your energy like a soft light bulb. Focusing like a laser comes down to consciously making small, intentional, but crucial choices every day that take you to the next level in your practice. Ask yourself, what part of the day am I going to use to find business? How am I going to set up my weekly plan and schedule so I make sure I'm generating leads, finding potential clients, and working with referral partners to unearth new business each and every day? Capitalize, capitalize, capitalize. Be consistent every day, every week, every month. You should be prospecting, this is italicized, at least 10 hours a week, which means you should be prospecting at least 2 hours every day. And she means weekdays, so we are definitely bringing this book to a weekday. Remember, prospecting isn't just making your daily phone calls. It's being in front of people, meeting with referral partners, having one-on-ones, or maybe even teaching a lunch and learn class. It's about business to business networking and marketing. Those are the activities that will move you forward. Those are the activities that you must slot every day. They may require 20% of your time, but it is the most important 20%. Approach your schedule with intensity and focus instead of just putting in long hours while you convince yourself that you're leaning into your business. Can positive fear help you focus? It's a question. It's a question with a question mark. Can positive fear make you focus? These thoughts are on fears are something I've learned from my mentor, Darren Hardy. So, Lady Jen has a mentor named Darren Hardy, Hardy. There are two different types of fear that we have in sales, particularly in lending. There is negative fear, which often blocks us, paralyzes us really, from doing the things we need to do. And there is positive fear, which actually helps drive us because we fear the consequences of not doing the things we need to do more than we fear the possible rejection attached to what we must do. Let's talk first about negative fear. This type of fear can misdirect your laser focus and cause you to dilute your attention. Instead of pinpointing your work for maximum effect, you look for ways to be active but unfocused. Negative fear trickles in and prevents you from taking action to introduce yourself to people. It blocks you from getting on the phone day in and day out, and it might even show up in your meetings with clients. You have that fear of rejection or that fear of looking bad. It keeps you from doing the things you should be doing because the little voice in your head says, if you try that, they might say no. You could be turned down or rejected. You might even think you project a salesy image that no one likes. So rather than experience these negative feelings, you lose your laser focus or find other busy work activities to fill the time. I've heard this from the loan officers that I coach who say something like, well, I don't make phone calls to my database because I don't know what to say. I don't want them to think that I'm pushy, and I'm just calling because all I want is a referral. The call is about getting or making a connection, not necessarily to get a referral. That will surely come later. Negative fears can prevent you from doing the right things. I get it. You don't want to feel bad and you want to do the things that make you feel good. Now, listen, I got this book from Lady Jen herself, the author. She showed up at the Secret Knock last year and the twice last year, March and September. I saw her twice. I got this book from her. She gave me permission to read it the first time, and I've been reading other books since until now. And now I'm in this book. Now, what I notice is that we meet all these really interesting people at the Secret Knock, but we're assigned by the MC to make connections. We make connections. So I have to say I haven't been diligent enough in keeping up the connections that I've made because I actually got some people to say, if you go into your jewelry making venture, we'll support you. And I had not done that yet. So I'm going to say here, now that I think of it, it is Sunday morning, local time at 8 o'clock today. I plan to come on live and discuss my jewelry making business. So, local time at 8 o'clock, my time. Um, that will be in addition to the morsels of a thought. So don't confuse them with the morsels of a thought. In fact, I think I'll wear something different just so it doesn't look the same. So here we are with Lady Jen reminding us that we need to continue on our connection survey, our connection search, rather than only looking for a referral or only finding another prospect. We want to make the connections because, hey, we all have time to chat a little bit and just call the chat and see what you come up with. Sometimes when a connection is really good, the person that goes to the secret knock is interested in making connections, or else they don't go, right? And if you are interested in making more connections, you call the people that are in your phone book. For example, I will say that yesterday I went to, okay, we're on page 24. I'm back to my example of yesterday. Yesterday I went all around because on the lunar calendar, I celebrate the Chinese holiday called Qingming Festival. Qingming Festival is where we go to the graves of our ancestors and we sweep and we wipe and we wash and we clean and we shear and we um, prune and take care of the plants around it and just basically go and show our respect and bring some flowers. So what I did yesterday was I couldn't leave my late uncle out of it. I went to my late mother's grave. And then I suddenly realized, oh, I have to go to my late uncle's grave after this because I needed to remember him. So I looked at the flowers I had. I had 22 of them. There are two more over here. I had 22 flowers that I got from a place I shall not name, but that everybody knows about that sells big amounts of things. And I got them. And I said, well, I was going to bring these flowers Okay. I left the other half in the car. I brought this half and I split them. So there were six and six. And my mom's grave has two vases that have holes in them. I don't know why they have holes in them. So I had to use something plastic to kind of get the water to hold in there and the long stemmed roses to stay. And it looked beautiful. So my story is that I went to the grave of my late uncle and I was leaving. As I was leaving, there was a woman and a man that came out of a car, a woman and her father, presumably, and she was carrying a container of water like the kind I was carrying. And I said to her, "Oh, do you know where the faucet is? Because there's one like many graves over and many rows away, and we can go there and use that non potable water to water our flowers." She says, "Oh, I think I do know." Well, my uncle was like a dad, and he passed in 1988. Well, then these two people suddenly walk over to the gravestone right next to my uncle's, and I stopped and I said, "Oh, you're right next to mine." Oh, so we talked a little. They've been buried there 9 days apart for 37 years and we had never seen each other. So we made friends and we did a little selfie between the two gravestones and we exchanged names and a text number and we both said, "I'm so happy I made a friend today." Oh my gosh. My uncle was a teacher in Chinatown in City College of San Francisco, Laney College, Merritt, the school district of San Francisco, SFUSD. Her relative was much older than my uncle, but had passed 9 days different. And anyway, it was like a brother-in-law or somebody, and we talked, and it was just a connection. Uh, I told her what I had done, and she told me what she had done. And the funniest part is that she works in a place that's near the city I had gone to for my mom's. So anyway, that was the connection I made. The connection. I love you guys. You guys are my connections. Whenever you come on and say hi, I appreciate it. Just say hi. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, so here we are on page 24. And I have kind of gone from can positive fear help you focus, negative fears, this and that, this and that. So we read negative fears can prevent you from doing the right things. I get it. You don't want to feel bad and you want to do the things that make you feel good. There's a problem with that though, a big problem. If you do only if you only do the things that make you feel good, you end up not doing what you absolutely need to be doing every day to accelerate your business. So that's the end of the negative fear. We shall get into that on next Monday. So I will talk to you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to do the series of The Dirt Merchants, the Highwayman Edition, a novel by Henning Morales. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I don't think he speaks much Spanish, though. I'm not sure. I can't tell. I can't tell. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish. So all I know is I used to be able to pronounce the word Saturday in Spanish, sábado, really nicely. Okay, talk to you later. Old, and we talk about that congressman, Kinderhook.